Welcome back to another video. The videos I've gathered for us to watch today feel illegal to put on the internet, but hey, we're gonna watch them together anyways. Towards the end, it does get insane, so please be prepared.
Why does Jenna Ortega look like this? Her face looks different. Her jaw looks different too.
That
her
is not
eyebrows.
Jenna
And like
Ortega.
other publications are saying Hollywood
What
star makes
happened?
huge
Is she
changes
a
to her
clone?
face. What
No?
change did she
Is that a
make? Because she
clone?
looks different, but she looks the same. Like it's Wednesday, but it's not Wednesday.
her
And I
face
was
is
like, maybe it's
crushed.
because she's not wearing as much makeup, or maybe because the makeup's not black. Because I feel like we're all used to seeing her with like the really smoky eye. But then when you see pictures of her without as much eye makeup on, or just makeup on in general, this still looks different than this.
Right.
Like Jenna Ortega with no makeup on here. Same thing, barely any makeup, maybe no makeup. Her face is always really slim. Like you can see it right here. It's very slim. Even here, there's like that defined cheekbone. I'm like, is it the hair?
No.
Is it the makeup? What change is it? Because other users are saying that's not Wednesday, that's Monday morning. Over there looking like Thursday. They got her, y'all. She got the look. Others are saying Hollywood is evil. That's what happened. She's Zac Efron. They got her. They got her to sign the contract. Wednesday became Saturday. And then, of course, she just bleached her eyebrows. I'm like, do eyebrows make that much of a difference? Some people are saying they clone everyone, so that's not even her. It's a clone. Probably replaced her when she didn't agree like Kanye. You got me worried about Jenna Ortega now, man. Because even here with like a lighter look, like lighter eyes, lighter hair, it still looks like Jenna Ortega. Even shorter hair still looks like Jenna Ortega. Here still looks like Jenna Ortega. Jenna Ortega, not Jenna Ortega. I think it's just the jaw for me. Maybe the jaw and the
And what
eyebrows.
changes
Like when
a
she's
jaw?
smiling in
Why?
that photo, it's like, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know.
Scientists just broke a law of physics that scientists literally believed was unbreakable for decades, and it quadrupled the energy output. So basically,
mean?
China just built a reactor that recreates what happens inside of our sun. It's called EAST, and it's short for none other than the Experimental Advanced Superconducting Tokamak. Okay.
Tokamak.
It's able to heat plasma over 100 million degrees, which is 10 times hotter than the core of our own sun. But here's what just happened, because for decades there's been a rule in fusion physics that's called the Greenwald limit. It's basically a ceiling on how much fuel you can pack into a reactor before the plasma becomes unstable and collapses. Literally every single fusion experiment on Earth has been bound by that, and scientists treated it like a wall that couldn't be broken. Well, China just broke it. They were able to push the plasma density 1.3 to 1.6 times past the limit, and they did it by controlling how the plasma interacts with the reactor walls from the very first second of ignition. And they're saying that by doing that, it kept the impurities out and the temperatures balanced. Obviously, I don't know what that means, and you probably don't know what that means either. And here's why this actually matters, because they're saying in fusion, doubling the fuel doesn't just double the energy, it quadruples it. So the math ain't mathin'. They built a literal star, they broke the rules, and the energy multiplied. Meanwhile, we are still arguing about solar panels.
We're behind in technology is what I heard.
Pay attention to how this lady shuts this airplane door. Now, do you see how heavy duty this thing is? And how she has to seal it airtight? Now pay attention to how this astronaut shuts this extremely advanced space hatch to protect him from the void of outer space. It looks way more advanced than the one that we saw previously, right? Not only that, but of course, the astronauts literally forget to put their shoes on correctly. If these people are so smart and only the smartest people on Earth can go to space, how come they can't put their shoes on correctly?
Who sees the
And of course,
markings?
the shoe print on
You see that right there? Ridges, and left, no ridges.
the moon
So who's lying?
doesn't even match the boots that we see for the astronaut suit that Buzz Aldrin, or whatever his name is, was wearing. Not only that, but if you look at the lighting on the moon landing, there's different angles of lighting, which could give evidence that they are using spotlights and they are perhaps in a Hollywood basement and not actually on the moon. You know, I have a theory that the moon is actually made of plasma, so we can't even go. And did you know that for the Apollo space mission, the moon landing mission, this is the lunar landing mission profile? That looks really good, doesn't it? Yeah, we definitely landed on the moon with this giant tinfoil piece of junk. But I made this video entirely for entertainment purposes only.
Just when you think it can't get any worse, there's another horrific case. This one's out of North Carolina. So a neighbor and his friend are being called heroes after they intervened in a disturbing child abuse case in Browns Summit, North Carolina. So apparently he heard a 4-year-old screaming, help me, she's trying to kill us. So him and his friend go into this mobile home. It's dark. They see the mother who is holding down, choking and strangling her 3 children, ages 8, 7, and 4. They jump in, intervene, separate the kids from the mother, and call 911. According to the arrest warrant and court documents, she poured hot wax on the children's heads and necks. She called them demons, trying to cast the devil out of them, threatening to kill them and light them on fire. Apparently, the children were naked during these assaults. They had scratches on their and bruising on their legs, necks, and arms. Signs of malnourishment. The refrigerator was locked with no edible food accessible to the children. Apparently, there was already an open Child Protective Services case on this family.
Please tell me y'all have seen this photo coming out of Louisiana. So the police were taking pictures of a fatal car crash next to the swamps of Louisiana. Now, in this particular area, there are legends of a man who hitchhikes on the side of the road, and when he gets in your car, it causes it to crash. Now, this has been folklore in this area for a very long time. But did these crime scene photographers actually capture this ghost on camera? Because if you look closely in the swamped area over in the bushes, you'll see what looks like a man standing, staring at the car crash. Now, if you look closely at this man, he just doesn't look right. He's translucent, and it looks like he has more eyes and more noses. Or like he's shaking his head no, and the camera captured that. Whatever the case, this photograph follows suit with the lore in this area of a ghostly hitchhiker causing car wrecks.
That's
What do you guys
weird.
think? Let me know. And don't forget to like and follow for more.
He kind of looks like an older person up front and a younger in the back.
This
I
female
see two
woman challenged me
faces.
to find the exact location that she took this photograph. She bet me that I couldn't find it, and I say game on. So the first thing I was easily able to identify is I zoomed in on that vegetation, or is just to the left of her, and you can see it has a yellow flower on the top, and I was easily able to identify that as the yellow pine sweep northern rimback plant, which is native to Maine, Vermont, Connecticut, the northeast of the United States. The next thing I wanted to look at is the water. Water carries a certain viscosity with it due to the magnetism of the different poles in the lunar cycles. You have to zoom in on the far water here so you can see some of that rippleage. And I was able to say that this has a 72.35 viscosity, give or take 3 standard deviations. And because of that, I know that this is a longitude between a 3 and 4 nautical Hergerwitz. He was born in Norway and developed this system that's more specific than longitude and latitude. And when I cross-section this, it crosses right through Maine. So the last thing I did to find this exact location is I zoomed in on the power lines. You can see that there's 2 thin ones on the top, the 2 thicker ones on the bottom, with the thickest one being to the left. And this is a Heisenlooper methodology that they did back in the early 1940s. And it was mainly in the area of Freeport, Maine, and roundabouts there is where they did it. With all this information, I was able to find the exact longitudinal, follow the line through Freeport, Maine, close to an area called Wolf's Neck. I dropped down on the road, crossed this bridge, and as I got to the other side, I turned the camera around here, and you can see you got the island there to the right, you got the metal barrier, you got the power lines up top. I just flew over 7,000 miles to verify if it's the right location, and look, I think I found it. You have the metal barrier, you have the island right there, and the water. Checkmate.
You can't argue that. He literally flew there.
Are ticks like heat-sinking missiles? And why do I say that? Because ticks do this strange and weird thing that many of us are unaware of. It's called questing. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, have a look at this video for yourself. Listen.
Ticks are actually disgusting. They do this thing called questing, where he reaches out. See how he's reaching out right now? To try and find me? As soon as he picks up on me as a meal, start chasing me. Full tilt, like I'm a steak dinner.
So you heard what she said. The term is called questing, when they raise their two front arms to detect you. And once they detect you, they act like a heat-seeking missile. They come right after you until they can catch you. And if you ever asked yourself the question, what purpose do ticks serve? Absolutely none. Ticks actually feed off of larger animals, and then animals typically feed off of them. But if they were to disappear off the face of the earth, there would be no effect to the ecosystem. At the end of the day, ticks are nothing but parasites. So be careful around ticks. And if you're out in a wooded area or a high, tall grass area, check yourself thoroughly and your pets upon returning to your home. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
What's your guys' opinion on those ticks, man? Like, that's insane. Apparently, if you get bit by a specific one, you can have an allergy to meat.
You are absolutely not going to believe this, but did you know that Kim Kardashian at one point helped solve a 2,100-year-old crime? Let's talk about it. Now, I think we all know that Kim Kardashian is famous for posting pictures online, and it turns out one of these photos actually became useful to track down a sarcophagus that had been stolen for 2,100 years. So back in 2017, this sarcophagus was actually looted during the Arab Spring, okay? Obviously, smugglers took it. They ended up selling it to a New York museum for $4 million, and that's how Kim Kardashian ended up taking a photo with it. Now, this photo was taken in 2018, and that's when experts online noticed the similarity between this unnamed sarcophagus and Nejmonk, okay? A 2,100-year-old lost sarcophagus. This prompted Egyptian officials to open up the case again. They tracked down the smugglers and realized they had forged paperwork for this right here, and this was the official sarcophagus. So there you guys go. There's the story of how Kim Kardashian posting a photo next to her sarcophagus was able to solve a 2,100-year-old mystery / crime. I'd like to hear in the comments below what you guys think about this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
You know, in the early 2000s, there was a show at Universal Studios that was so intense that guests literally had to sign a liability waiver in order to participate. It was a live theater experience where ordinary park visitors were forced to confront their biggest nightmares in front of a stadium full of other park guests. But as public tastes evolved, this insane stunt show became a relic of a very specific era in Universal history. Welcome to Universal Unlocked, where we dust off the archives to explore the history and nostalgia of the world's greatest movie park. Today we're going to be unpacking Fear Factor Live, which opened at both Orlando and the Hollywood locations in 2005. And because of the massive success of the reality TV series format, they decided to not use professional actors for their main stunts. Instead, Universal actually carried out real casting calls each morning to weave out some brave souls that were ready to participate. There were a bunch of requirements for this that had to be met, as you can see, and of course you had to sign a waiver before you participated. And they were really looking for guests who were willing to perform high-flying stunt challenges and also willing to eat some pretty nasty concoctions live on stage. And this show featured 3 distinct rounds of terror. It began with an endurance test where guests would hang from high bars over the stage. Next on deck came the infamous nutrition challenge, and this is where things got really nasty. Audience members would watch this in horror as guests had to chug down a nasty smoothie full of things like sour milk, raw eggs, and a bunch of random bugs. The final rounds put the top contestants into an intense race involving industrial water cannons and exploding police cars. This entire show was without a doubt one of the most insane experiences that you could have with a live show at a theme park. And it also perfectly captured the early 2000s energy of the reality TV series and the crazy stunts that people were willing to participate in. While this show was a huge hit, it gradually began to lose its appeal as trends in reality TV started shifting away from this format. The Hollywood version actually closed after a few years, but the Florida version wound up staying around for over a decade. But it would frequently close temporarily due to Halloween Horror Nights shows coming in each year. But fast forward to the year 2020, after Universal had its long closure, the Fear Factor Live show unfortunately did not reopen. All in all, Fear Factor Live serves as an amazing reminder of a time when Universal was willing to really push the limits with live entertainment, and even venturing into places that may not be so accepted today. Did you ever have the courage to audition and be in this show, or did you ever actually get to see it for yourself? If so, let us know in the comments because we would love to hear your story. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that follow because we have a ton more Universal history, lore, and nostalgia coming your way.
Please let me know in the comments. I would love to know. Me personally, I'm not kidding. If you know me in real life, you know I'm not kidding. I would genuinely do that. I would genuinely compete and do all of those challenges. Would you guys do that? Please let me know. Please let me know if you guys are brave enough. I would. Personally, I would do it. But
FBI intercepted a terrorist attack at the UFC event at the White House.
A drone attack, yeah.
Drone attack?
It was because of a mother this whole operation was caught. There was this elaborate plan where they caught them right before it happened. Up to 28 people. They had a drone rigged up with explosives.
Oh my god.
Caused chaos. People would run out, and they apparently had snipers all around.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they had
chills all
outposts
over my
planned.
body.
It was this online group. It was to start the revolution, trigger mass panic and force evacuation. Snipers, target bomb makers, wealthy figures, and administration officials.
The plan that they found was designed to funnel people so that everyone had to flee down a particular path, and all the sniper outposts were aimed at that spot.
Thank you, mothers out there. This guy who was part of the thing, his mother realized that he's been acting very weird lately. And that he spent $3,000 buying ammunition, guns, and tactical gear. So she reported it.
Oh,
That's gotta be tough. She read the chat. Oh my god.
Yeah, she says flagging his alarming online activity and massive firearm purchases.
Shout out mom.
Apparently in this World Cup, for a lot of the African teams, people caught witches in their stands, like doing spells.
I heard of that.
There's two examples of this. So one of them was against Portugal versus Congo. So the thing about Portugal and Congo, like their ranks are completely different. Portugal's like what, top 10? And in Congo, they're like 50th or something like that. In the stands, they saw someone doing witchcraft on the Portugal team.
Wild.
And they were able to tie against Portugal, which is like almost impossible.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And
against
then,
Ronaldo?
Yes, against Ronaldo. And then the same thing happened in the Ghana versus England game. And England's like a top 5 team. And Ghana, they're like 60th place. Somebody saw the same thing in the crowd and they're able to tie the game too.
The reason that all men benefit from violence against women is because the violent men lower the standards so much that all it takes to be a good man is to just not be violent. Okay, I do see your point. You know what I mean? Yeah, and we see it all the time in a sense of like, we've asked plenty of questions like, what do you want out of a relationship? And a lot of people just list off the bare minimum because that's became normal.
Sometimes it takes men saying exactly what women have been saying for years for people to listen. By people, I mean other men. Breaking down the fact that all men benefit for violence against women because all it does is drag down the bare minimum where we're just hoping to find someone who's trustworthy. This very much goes for women and men. Because what do you mean I'm hoping to end up with someone who respects me? Having respect and trust in your partner should be the bare minimum. But here we are as a society having to listen to relatable podcasts explaining how people are benefiting from the violence on women. Because now being a good man is simply just not putting your hands on other people. When you, man or woman, being a good person should just mean you are actually just a good person. And not that you are just a person who doesn't cause physical harm against another person.
This is actually insane because scientists have just reversed something doctors always said was impossible. Imagine breaking your spinal cord, paralyzing certain areas in your body. You're going to be told that you're never going to recover from that. There's no fix for that. And doctors thought there never would be. That is because nerve damage is permanent. And while nerves don't grow back like other things on your body would. But scientists just think they have found a way to actually change that. 2026, man. Scientists need a pay rise. Like this is nuts. So researchers at Cambridge University created a tiny human brain and spinal cord system inside of a lab. People are so smart, man. And these weren't just blobs of cells. This was real. And they could actually send signals and even make the tiny muscles contract. I want to see the thing in action, man. But that's not the craziest part yet. Of course. While studying these, the team discovered something shocking. They found that the human nerve cells don't actually lose the ability to repair themselves once they're damaged. They lose it because the body actively switches that ability off during development, meaning, in simple terms, that part of the body does still contain the instructions needed for it to regrow and turn the nerves back on. Then the scientists found the exact gene network that controls this switch, essentially. And when they targeted it using a hormone-based drug, the nerve fibers switched on and begun regrowing dramatically faster. In other words, simple form, they may have actually found a way to reactivate a repair system that were thought to be gone forever in the body. Now, this of course hasn't been tested on humans as of yet, only the fake one in the lab. But if the future studies work and this gets rolled out to human trials, this could genuinely change everything. So I'll keep you posted.
Everyone's calling him the Mexican Batman, and after just 10 days of bringing justice, the police are now looking for him. If you didn't know, in one of Mexico's most dangerous cities called Lagos de Moreno, for years this city has been plagued with crime until one man stood up and said, "It's time to even the odds." This mysterious vigilante is doing what the police couldn't and catching the criminals, taping them up in the most embarrassing way ever to poles around the city and drawing whiskers on their face and also writing "rat" on their forehead. And since all of these criminals have been robbing motorcycles, he leaves the motorcycles right next to them and then disappears into the night. And you would think that the police would have no problem with this, but because of his ways being so quote-unquote brutal, they are now looking for El Batman himself. I don't think they should be hunting him, but rewarding him.
He's doing what they can't.
You guys all remember Palm Beach Pete, right? You know Palm Beach Pete? And why do I ask that? Because Palm Beach Pete is running for mayor of Palm Beach County, Florida. And the Florida Department of Elections had him submit his DNA. And Florida came back with a different result than Palm Beach Pete was wanting to hear.
What does that mean?
Have a listen to this for yourself.
Guys, it's Palm Beach Pete, and I'm really pissed. I got a letter from the Division of Elections from the state of Florida regarding the irregularities concerning my DNA test. And they're asking me to suspend my campaign and take a step back. I'm not going to suspend the campaign. I'm getting legal involved, but I'll be back. I'm going to be traveling for a while, so you're not going to see me around for a bit. But I'll make the best mayor Palm Beach ever had.
So basically, the Florida government just told him that he immediately needs to withdraw his candidacy for mayor of Palm Beach. And once again, this is all because of the results that came back from his DNA test. Allegedly, he's been told that he needs to take another DNA test. And their claim is, allegedly, that the results are going to cause some sort of confusion. What kind of confusion can be caused by this? He is Palm Beach Pete, right? So if he's just Palm Beach Pete, what is all the fuss about? Why withdraw his candidacy? I mean, should they make the results of the DNA test public so everyone can decide for themselves as to what is actually going on? What in the DNA test could possibly stop him from running or taking the office of mayor of Palm Beach County, Florida? So let me know your thoughts on what you think it could possibly be and why are they asking him to withdraw his candidacy from mayor of Palm Beach County. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Nikola Tesla was unalive because he discovered the power of sound. This is crazy. This is the real power of frequency and sound and vibration and energy.
Wait, what's happening right now? How is that spinning water?
They can literally use sounds and frequencies to control you. Remember that. Be careful what you listen to, y'all. Stay weird.
Wait, so sound influences matter. So they're trying to say that the sound, what we listen to, actually messes with our brain and the way we think? Is that what they're trying to
creepy
say?
video of possibly a glitch in the Matrix. This was sent in by someone named Lisa. She said it's fine if I use her real name. And she said she got a camera alert from her front door camera at 5:29 in the morning. Says she did not review the footage until later in the day. She was sleeping when she got the notification. But also, when you see it, which you'll see it, notice the bottom right-hand corner of the video because there's some weird movement down there afterward. So here we go. It gradually gets lighter, but the initial notification was at 5:29 a.m. And you can see the camera sort of picks up the changing light as it gets more and more into the morning, I guess. But this video was about 40 seconds long. I cut off a bunch of it. Who is that? And now look at the bottom right. Interestingly enough, she says that the boy in the photo looks a lot like her son, but it's not her son. And later that day, they received an unexpected grocery delivery of things that she wouldn't normally buy her son. And they asked around the neighborhood. They checked their apps. They had not ordered it. She said the thing in the video in the bottom right-hand corner does look to her and her son like it's grocery bags. But if that's the case, they were in the video 8 hours before they were actually delivered. Her theory is interesting. She says that her son was actually a twin in utero, but that her son's twin actually passed. And when they went over this footage and they were talking about it, her son was laughing and saying, well, maybe my twin wanted me to have some snacks. Snacks that you wouldn't buy me, Mom. So let her know your thoughts. Interesting enough. And she'll be seeing the comments. She said it was fine if I used her real name. If you have a creepy video or you have something that you want more community eyes on, send that in too. We would love to see it.
Purchased 2 chainsaws and an inflatable pool to dispose of Celeste's body. We also learned that Celeste was pregnant at some point within their relationship, specifically when she was 13 years old. These are some of the updates that we got from the David court hearing today, where we learned that David had an intimate relationship with Celeste when she was 13 years old. He also instructed her to get rid of the pregnancy. The reason why Celeste was at David's home on April 23rd, 2025 was because he called an Uber from Lake Elsinore to pick her up and bring her there. I don't think that Celeste knew that she was going to die that night. I think that David had a plan because she had been threatening him in the past because she was insecure about his relationship with other women. Or honestly, I should say rather girls, but she was jealous of these relationships and she was threatening to release information about their relationship to ruin his music career, which is why he bought her an Uber. She was dropped off at 10:10 p.m. in the Hollywood Hills, and by 10:30, prosecutors say that she was gone. Also revealed that David at some point purchased a shovel on Postmates. He also got those 2 chainsaws from Amazon, a bunch of bags, and it seems like he put her body in the garage to try to get rid of her. We still don't really understand why he took the trip to Santa Barbara on May 5th. What was the point of him bringing her up there? Because we all understand that he was the one to go and leave her in that frunk. Actually, it was revealed that he is the one caught on camera parking the Tesla before he got onto his tour bus and acted like nothing ever happened. I don't know about you guys, but I say lock him up and throw away the key.
Breaking, shocking news in Brazil, which I would literally hightail it out of there if this freaking happened, dude. Parents were sentenced to prison for 50 days after excluding gender content in homeschool curriculum. The judge said that the fact that 15 and 11-year-old girls did not enjoy popular music demonstrated an alleged deficiency in their cultural education. Despite them being 2 different musicians, one played a violin and one was a piano player. I didn't even believe this story when I first saw it. One of the most striking aspects of the case is the reasoning the judge used to reach the verdict. According to the ruling, the educational program provided by the parents did not include content regarding gender and blank education or tolerance and diversity. Furthermore, the court concluded that the fact that the girls aged 15 and 11 do not enjoy popular musical genres such as trap music, like computer techno type of shiza freaking crap. I'm sorry if you love trap music, like... Anyway, it demonstrated an alleged deficiency in their cultural education. Now, 70,000 children are currently being homeschooled in Brazil, and so this is a first of its kind, and it's making many people stand up and say, what the Sam Dam is going on? You can type in Brazilian parents homeschool story and read the whole thing. I didn't honestly believe it when I first saw it. It's completely shocking. And then there's places like Costa Rica, you're not allowed to homeschool your children. And same thing in Germany and different European countries, you're not allowed to homeschool. That is shocking. Now, I can only imagine why. I mean, they're teaching them that GMOs are healthy and safe and fluoride is good for you, so maybe they don't want parents teaching their children the opposite of that.
Years old were rescued from deplorable conditions in a home in southern Ohio. This is bad. So in Vinton County, Ohio, the Sheriff's Office and Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation executed a search warrant Tuesday morning at a home in Hamden, Ohio. Like I said, 16 children ranging in age from 1.5 to 18 years old were found inside the home, what officials described as deplorable conditions. Like absolutely horrible conditions. Conditions you cannot even imagine. Several of the children were in serious condition and 2 were flown to a hospital due to how severe their conditions were. All the 16 children are being medically evaluated. Investigators are saying this is pure evil, what we saw down here today. Now, 4 adults, Gary Siders Jr., Gary Siders Sr., Elizabeth Siders, and Christina Siders were taken into custody. They're being charged with 17 counts of child endangerment, 1 for each of the children found and 1 additional because it involves serious physical harm. Now, officials did not reveal the relationships to the children, but stressed that the rumors of human trafficking ring are unfounded. Now, you have to understand, when they took these kids out of the home, they said they were pale, emaciated. It was terrible. But don't be surprised if this is national news. Because again, like I said, the conditions these children were living in were absolutely awful. That is why these people are pure evil. Crazy.
This man confronted a UFO after it followed him into the desert.
Buddy, listen, I'm not scared of you, man. I'm not scared. You will follow me, I don't care.
It's using a poke in the device.
I know you can probably hear me. Your crazy cameras are probably zooming in on my face. I am not scared of you. You've been following me for 45 minutes. If you were gonna hurt me, you would have done it by now.
This video is way too long to be a.
I'm harmless, dude. I'm out here on a walk by myself, middle of the desert.
This guy was probably never,
Why
ever,
are
ever
you
seen
following
ever again.
me?
After
What are
this
those
video
little
was
wolves that
published.
sent down?
Why me? I have nothing. I have no weapons. All I have is this phone, and I'm taking a video of you. I know you're trying to pretend like you're invisible. Look, there's cars over there. I can still see you on this video, and I'm posting this on TikTok later. You're not scaring me. I ain't scared, man. You
How is
obviously
this
don't want to hurt
not
me.
on the
What
news?
do you want from me? What do you want from me? What are you gonna do? Let me go home.
Stay
That's
weird,
all I want.
yo.
Just let me go home.
Nobody believe that this actually happened, but it did. Give me 30 seconds and your mind will be blown. Just the other day in Highmore, South Dakota, a tornado crushed through the town with 130-mile-per-hour winds. As you can see, it also touched this church right here. But there's something about this church that'll make your eyes go and make your jaw go. You can see right here that the church was getting damaged through the ceiling, cracks in the ceiling as the wind was coming in. And this is what it was shining on.
Come on now, y'all.
I look at that and I see Jesus saying, don't worry, I'm here. No need to freak out. I look at that and see Jesus saying, empty tomb. Don't forget, I'm going to take you up one day. I look at that and see, hey, look, I'm God. Here's proof.
Are we about to have a real disclosure day? And why do I say that? Because a Brazilian psychic made a prediction about something that's going to happen at a major sporting event on June 24th. So this psychic from Brazil has been pretty pinpoint accurate with a lot of her predictions. And now in her latest prediction, she claims that allegedly in June, a large mothership will appear in Miami, Florida at a sporting event and take up to 700 people with them. And let me repeat, her claim is that a large mothership will appear in Miami, Florida at a sporting event and take 700 people allegedly with it. And her claim is that this will be the moment in time when people will actually get to see alleged aliens, UFOs. And I want you to put this into perspective. We are currently in the month of June, and this comes out on June 12th, Disclosure Day, a movie by Steven Spielberg. And once again, this Brazilian psychic has been correct on a lot of her predictions lately. And as her claim is, we will see 700 people being lifted into the sky, allegedly, according to her latest claim. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you. Is this objector behind me staying perfectly still for you, or is it spinning to the left? For 98% of people, it's staying perfectly still, and you guys probably see it in black and white. Well, apparently 2% and only 2% of the global people populancers actually see it spinning, and get this, it's colored. They said there's different colors on it. I don't see it. To me, it's just staying still. It's perfectly black and white. The reason why these 2% of people see it is I guess they have a genetic mutation in their eye where they have a protein fiber ball that sits right in the middle of their iris. And they said that it's so small that you could barely pick it up on a microscope. But what it does is it sends it's called a sisqueen reaction wave throughout the eyeball that causes the atoms in the eye to refract light in the opposite opposing way. And so when the signalages go to the brain, it actually causes it to move, and it also gives it color. And so if you're one of these 2% of people, let me know. I'm super curious if you're out there.
Let me know. Are you guys at 2%? Because I just see it's stationary and black and white. Let me know.
Neurologists are banning these items from their own homes. Why? Because of the study that came out showing a more than double increased lifetime risk of dementia after the age of 55. What was the top of the list? Tampons. Not just any kind of tampons. Tampax tampons. What? What has Tampax done so wrong that neurologists now refuse to let this product into their homes? Well, the heavy metals that have been found inside of these tampons that are then inserted inside of the human body. Enough heavy metals in enough tampons, there's now a class action lawsuit. Another item that made me cry is Colgate toothpaste and Tom's toothpaste, because Tom's is owned by Colgate, if I have that right. Also apparently has a lot of heavy metals in it, and again, a toothpaste is something you put in your body. You're getting a lot of absorption of whatever good or bad things are inside of it. Same neurologist who is telling his loved ones not to bring these items into his home also says, never wear Lululemon clothing. Honestly didn't surprise me with how fast fashion is basically full of plastics, but this is because it's full of forever chemicals. Like phthalates and PFAS and all the new chemicals we are learning that have been around forever and are literally so abundant we are finding it in our water, and when we consume it or it gets absorbed through our skin, our body literally can't get rid of it. Thanks to this study, I now understand that out of 100 people over the age of 55, over 40 of them will develop dementia, which I will probably be among them one day because out of the 3 items I just named, I've used or worn all 3 of them.
Marley Kinney's body was found yesterday after an excruciating 4-day search. 19-year-old Marley Kinney and about 10 friends were drinking and partying together on a pontoon boat. Marley's friends let her off the boat to use the bathroom. Marley's friends continued partying and ended up driving off without Marley on the boat. Allegedly, none of the 10 people on the boat realized that Marley was missing. Once all of Marley's friends returned to the marina, 23-year-old Cameron Conley realized that Marley wasn't on the boat and had not made it back with them. So he alerted marina staff. Cameron Conley was the one who was driving the boat, and troopers noted that Cameron's blood alcohol concentration was nearly double Kentucky's legal boating limit. A massive 50-person multi-agency search was launched to find Marley. After 4 days of searching, yesterday, on June 28th, Marley's body was located inside the water. The investigation is still ongoing, so police are urging anyone with any information to come forward. But what do you guys think about this case?
Was absolutely intoxicated and forgot something behind, and it's just insane that they found her in the water. Like any other way they could have, that's horrible. I feel so bad.
Creepy real photos that keep me up at night, part 100. In 1984, a 16-year-old named John Boulware was on his way to a concert with friends when the driver lost control of the vehicle and crashed into a tree. John lost his life in the accident. Police officer Brian Coyle photographed the scene using a 35mm camera. At the time, the St. Paul Police Department developed its own film. When the photos were processed, a lab technician called Coyle and asked him to come take a look. One image appeared to show a distorted, screaming face hovering above the wrecked vehicle. Even more unsettling, many felt the face resembled John himself. According to Coyle, several photography experts examined both the image and the negatives, but none were able to offer an explanation for what appeared in the photo. Follow for more creepy real photos.
Another day and another warning. And why do I say that? Because health officials have just issued a dire warning about a parasite that's making the rounds across the U.S. And it's giving individuals explosive diarrhea. You heard what I said, explosive diarrhea. And so far, over 100 people have been infected in over 17 states. And one of the states with the highest numbers, New York City. And the claim by some officials is the fact that this outbreak might just be allegedly connected to certain foods that you're eating. And some of the symptoms are severe stomach pains, nausea, and tiredness. And then there are those that have the explosive diarrhea. And this virus is very similar to the norovirus. And the claim is that if you do get it, it can last for days and even weeks. Well, the bad news to this is the fact that they are still unclear as to where this came from and what's causing people to get sick from whatever it is, whether it is food or it's not food. But the good news is no one has lost their life due to this parasite. So once again, keep an eye on what you do. Remember, wash your hands, clean all of your food properly before prepping it and cooking it. And if you start to feel something going on in your stomach, like some bubbling or something, you may want to get checked out by a physician and make sure that you have not contracted whatever this is. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
No, all know Charlie opened up a chocolate bar in the Willy Wonka movie. But apparently we're all wrong because that is a moon pie. Remember in the movie he opened up 2 chocolate bars? One was a dud, which he split amongst his family, and the other one had the winning ticket. And now all of a sudden, if you go back to the movie, people are saying he opened up a moon pie instead. So someone is definitely going back in time and playing with us at this point. Because this moon pie was never in the movie to begin with. And I'm pretty sure I don't remember him wearing this outfit in the original movie. Well, the movie from our timeline. The original timeline. Things just keep getting weirder and weirder. As always, let me know what you think in the comments. Stay weird.
What the flock is going on in Arizona? And why do I say that? Because a man walking in the desert in Arizona came across a fake cactus.
What?
You heard what I said, a fake cactus. And upon taking a closer look, you'll be shocked to see what he found. Have a look at this video for yourself. Listen.
Sometimes it's hard to tell if this is a real cactus or not, but it's definitely fake.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Unbelievable. Have a look at it for yourself. What do you see inside that cactus? Cameras. This is all happening in Paradise Valley, Arizona. And the claim is that they're allegedly hiding flock cameras inside of fake cactuses to read license plates. And the name? Cacti Cameras. Have one more look at the video to see if you noticed the cameras the first time.
Sometimes
have a look
it's
for
hard to
yourself.
tell if this
Would
is a
you
real
have
cactus
noticed
or not,
this
but
like he did?
It's definitely fake. Look at that.
So I guess my question to you is Arizona now officially a surveillance state? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Okay, this is going viral on Twitter right now. Whatever unfolded in this world in the past is beyond our imagination. And it shows this ancient, crazy site somewhere in Mexico or something. And I gotta say, man, from my research into ancient archaeological history and whatnot, I don't think they were using hammers and chisels on this stuff, man. I think there was like some type of quantum frequency, sonic levitation, sound wave, laser beam thing. Or maybe they were so ascended mentally that they could just zoom. Like, I wouldn't put it past. That's not beyond my imagination, man. I'm sure stuff like that can happen. Think about the ancient Indians, the Siddhis, Siddhis. They were using their brain function to levitate and move stuff. Yeah, this world is stranger than most people would fathom. But now we're full of fluoride, microplastics, pesticides, heavy metals, and all these crazy chemicals. I can't imagine that's helping us ascend our consciousnesses. And if you think it's important to be detoxing some of that crazy stuff, right now Chalk is giving away free $100 bags of organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia, the chocolate powder, which is super detoxing and delicious, plus it stimulates stem cell production. And if you combine that with the hot water purified Shilajit, you got some of the most powerful adaptogens in the natural world. Comment the word free below and check your DMs for details.
26-year-old Brady Harmon had no clue that the 15-minute FaceTime conversation would be the last time he'd get to see or hear any of his children alive. Hearing with news outlets that they simply sounded like happy little kids showing him their cat, their drawings, what they looked forward to doing with him once he had them for the 4th of July weekend. That FaceTime phone call was the last time he got to see any of them alive before the family was found poisoned by their own grandmother. 2 weeks later, all 4 of the children and their mother, Sarah Myers, was found upstate in a New York apartment, fatally poisoned by who authorities believe was Sarah Myers' mother, Amy Stedman. Brady was just days away from getting all 4 of his kids for the summer. Authorities arrived on scene to find 13-year-old Harper, 11-year-old Hudson, and 10-year-old twins, Gracelyn and Gavin, all dead of an apparent poisoning. Mechanicville police explaining that the maternal grandmother had left a handwritten note, strongly suggested that she was the one that poisoned the entire family. Investigators believing that the grandmother may have acted out of rage since Harmon had recently won custody of all 4 of his kids for 2 months starting July 1st.
A DoorDasher in Baton Rouge said he met a vampire, and this is the footage. You can already tell something's off with this person. Look at the mouth, it looks extended, and the eyes look pitch black. I don't think we're dealing with a human. Stay weird, y'all.
This is when it really gets crazy, bro. Watch. You tell me the shoe goes flying into the car. That was little movement, right?
Yeah.
But watch
yeah,
what
yeah.
happens next, bro.
The fuck happened?
So he's an Uber driver and he's out late at night delivering food. And this one stop, he has to basically pass by a cemetery.
Oh.
So he's
okay.
already kind of like a little bit scared. It's late at night. You're automatically getting a weird feeling when you're next to a cemetery, even during the daytime. But this was during the nighttime. So he ends up stopping. And as he's doing this delivery, something weird basically ends up happening. He ends up capturing a ghost on camera. Just keep looking at the sneakers.
Okay.
Definitely here.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
What the?
Hell no.
And it's like pointing in his direction, bro. But it gets even crazier. Watch.
Then that?
Yes, bro. It gets even crazier. Watch.
Bro, you should have. You should have.
This is when it really gets crazy, bro. Watch. You tell me the shoe goes flying into the car. That was little movement, right?
Yeah.
But watch what
yeah.
happens next, bro.
What the?
There's nobody there, bro.
Yo, the ghosts are trying to get out or trying to get in the car.
Oh, hell, what the fuck?
Nah, hold on. There was no cuts. There was no cuts.
Bro, the ghost literally opened his door, bro.
Yo, Loki, for staying in that spot. Like, what the fuck out of there,
People in the
bro?
comments are like, why is bro investigating? Like as soon as you see the shoe move.
This woman was, and the entire time was less than 2 miles from her home. Hey, girl gang, this is Crime and Cosmetics. Don't forget to follow for more content like this. It's April 21st, 2003. Night, Amanda Berry is closing out a shift at the Burger King. Same Burger King that her friends worked at. Same corner she'd walked 100 times. She calls her sister around 8 p.m. She tells her that she's gonna get a ride home, and that's the last time that anyone would hear her voice for a decade. The man who offers her a ride, a stranger, his name is Ariel Castro, and he is 42 years old. This man is a bus driver. His daughter went to school with Amanda, knew her, and was actually friends with her. So he tells Amanda that his daughter is at his house and that she could also pop in and just say hi. What happens next, I'm gonna be honest, hard to hear. I'm not going to detail the worst of it on camera because this is not entertainment, this is documented. But what I will tell you is, she's not the only one. A year later, Castro does it again. A girl named Gina de Jesus, 14 years old, again friends with his daughter. And a third young woman named Michelle Knight, taken even before Amanda back in 2002. 3 women, 2 years apart, give or take. Same street radius, same man, and same house. And here's the part that will literally make you sick to your stomach. In January 2004, while Amanda is already inside that house, the police actually go to Castro's door, not for her, for something completely unrelated, a complaint about his bus driving. They knock, nobody answers, and they leave. They were literally standing on his porch, inches away from Amanda. So Cleveland searches for these missing girls for years. A self-proclaimed psychic also goes on television and tells Amanda's mother that her daughter is dead and in water. Her mother believes it enough to take down the photos, and she died in 2006 without any answers. While her daughter is still alive, less than 3 miles away, at a house with boarded windows and chains bolted to a basement pole. 2 miles, almost 10 years, this is her world. No windows that open, restraints. A world Castro builds extremely around control. And like I said, I'm not going to walk you through the specifics, but this man was sick, okay? Here is what didn't get broken, and that was Amanda. One day, Amanda hears Castro leave the house, and for the first time in years, she's actually not chained to anything. She gets to the door. It's got a makeshift lock, but the bottom panel is weak. She starts screaming for help. So a neighbor named Charles Ramsey hears her. He kicks the door open with Ramsey's help and crawls out with a 6-year-old girl in her arms, her daughter born inside that house. And she gets on the phone with 911 and says almost calmly, "I'm Amanda Berry. I've been kidnapped and I've been missing for 10 years, and I'm here. I'm free now." So police go in and they find Gina and Michelle both alive. Castro is arrested before the day is over. Pleads guilty to 937 counts. Kidnapping, aggravated murder, forced miscarriages, life plus 1,000 years. 1 month into that sentence, he hung himself in his cell. Amanda, Gina, and Michelle all survived. All 3 are still alive today. Amanda actually works in Cleveland local news now, helping look for other missing people. That was all for today's story. A crown emoji if you made it to the end. See you in the next video. Bye.
15 years after he did what he did, he decided to turn himself in. Watch what happens.
Going on, man?
I just wanted to refer to murder that I did a long time ago.
Okay, a long time ago?
Yeah.
Or today?
A long time ago.
What is that?
I buried him in his house.
Okay.
On 5th Street.
Gotta cover it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm tired of living with my wife, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Show me where it's at.
Let's go.
What year is this at?
I don't remember.
Don't remember? Okay.
Been so long.
It's been a long time.
Well, guys, get him.
Do you want to be here?
I confessed to a murder. I don't want to live with you. know?
I understand that.
I don't want to live life anymore without confessing.
I want to make this perfectly clear that you're telling us it's good on you for doing it, but it'd be my job to prosecute this when I discover this. You understand that, right? Okay.
I don't even care if I go to jail for alcohol or get the death penalty. At least nobody doesn't have to worry anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine his family never knew what happened, because I want to be able to tell them what happened.
Tell them that he was a good man and I took his life for no reason.
Imagine the family of the victim, their son who just randomly died 15 years ago and they didn't know where he was. Oh, no, he's actually buried in this guy's house. Oh my god. No, but there is so much divide about this video that I've seen online, like, it is very 50-50. 50% of people are saying that this guy should just rot in jail for the rest of his life. He's absolute vermin, because obviously he went 15 years without saying anything and just hid this. But the other 50% of people are actually saying that God bless this man for coming forward and basically having his atonement and confessing to what he did. And I get both sides, but at the same time, think about how many killers and mysteries there are out there that don't come forward. Yes, this guy did, now it's on the surface, everybody's talking about it, but there is so many people that probably go missing, and the person that did whatever they did to them has never come forward, which is why we never know about them. So he did do a good thing coming forward and turning himself in, but 15 years too late. But let me know your thoughts.
Did you guys hear a Brazilian psychic with 23 million followers claims that aliens will abduct FIFA players in Miami on June 24th? This is her profile. I don't know if those are real followers, but that's what it says on her profile. And it said that she has gotten a lot of things right. Now, don't think psychicness and remote viewing is too crazy, because we know that there's some declassified documents that they may very well have employed psychics and remote viewers in certain intelligence agencies. She is claiming something that would literally completely pretty much destroy her reputation if she's wrong. Like, if you make a prediction based on a date, and we're going to get into what she said, and you're wrong, like, you're not really going anywhere after that. So she claims that a giant UFO mothership will arrive over the stadium during the event.
Hundreds of people could be taken, she says. I do think it's crazy. While I was looking at pictures for this, in Arthur, there was a clip, alien spotted at the Super Bowl. I don't know. I think this is The Simpsons. If the color is correct, Simpsons, aliens landing at some type of game. And there has been a lot of Super Bowl commercials that feature alien-y, UFO, the Greys type thing. Now, isn't it crazy this is happening around the same time that Steven Spielberg's movie, Disclosure Day, just got released? Now, this is either the goofiest prediction you've ever heard, and it's going to go, this is just some way to go viral before it happens, and then afterwards be like, oh, I got the date wrong. It's the next FIFA thing in 2029 or whatever. Or the kind of story that people laugh at right before they're proven wrong. Now, my thoughts are, because I'm not really buying the whole story of aliens in space thing, that there could be a possible divine intervention that then the mainstream blames on aliens. And we'll see if that happens. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more. Now, there's a lot of strangeness happening around the world today. I think we can all wrap our heads around that. And I think that it has never been more important before in human history to be of sound mind and sound body. Detox the crazy chemicals we're exposed to, boost your vibrational frequency, and decalcify your pineal gland. And right now, Chalk is giving away free $100 bags of organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia, the chocolate powder, which is super detoxing and delicious, plus it stimulates stem cell production. And if you combine that with the hot water purified Shilajit, you're getting some of the most powerful adaptogens in the natural world. Comment the word free below and check your DMs for details.
Meet the doctor who for 20 years was diagnosing his patients with diseases they never had. Meet Dr. Jorge Zamora, who is a prominent rheumatologist in Texas. At least he was until the FBI shared that this man had diagnosed over 10,000 of his patients with diseases they never had. And now the fight is on for justice. For him. So why would a rheumatologist over the course of 20 years diagnose tens of thousands of patients with diseases they never had? So he could then treat them with chemotherapy. FBI found that this level of fraud was simply to fund his expensive lifestyle. Chemo not even being the tip of the iceberg. Looking x-rays, infusions, MRIs, medications that these patients never needed. This rheumatologist not only did it knowing full well the extreme side effects of such treatments, he did this to over 10,000 people, opening up multiple clinics across Texas. When you have multiple clinics, what's the best way to get back and forth? A private jet. That's right, not only did he intentionally misdiagnose patients for diseases they never had to fund his lifestyle, he bought things like 13 separate properties, a private jet, just like this Eclipse 500, luxury cars like Maseratis. Then to make matters worse, he didn't just treat adult patients, he also had children. One of his victims, being found to be 13 years old, is now bedridden, thanks to all of the unnecessary treatment he received for disease he never had. Dr. Zamora's wife, Messi, saying he is innocent of all charges.
Everything is going to be clear because we are not committing fraud. 100% sure about that. Proud to be the wife of Dr. Jorge Zamora Quesada.
His family even starting a support page for the doctor. It has started a GoFundMe requesting $500,000. So far in total has stolen at least $118 million from his patients and their insurance for these treatments they never should have had. Out of the 10,000 plus patients they know he misdiagnosed, the FBI expect there to be probably at least thousands more, sharing that this was one of the doctor's storage units for his patient charts.
If you had this white peacock worth $12 million, would you sell it or would you keep it? And so this female woman right here had a white peacock born on her farm, and scientists are in a tizzy because they're saying that this should never happen. They say it's less than 1 in 700 trillion billion chance that a white peacock is born. A lot of animal kingdom creature critters have albinos, which are all like yellow and white and red eyes, but not peacocks. They're genetically impossible to have albinos, but this one was born on her farm, and now a bunch of people are offering money. One Russian billionaire said they would pay up to $23 million for it, but most people are saying around $12 million. Well, she refuses to sell it. She said, this is a creature critter from God, and it was born on my farm, and so it's my duty to raise it and make sure that it has a good life, and not that it goes to somewhere who just wants to collect it for a collection. But I'm curious what you would do.